Hi guys, my name is Daryl, and today I'd like to show you the exercises that are in Volume 8 of Vince Gironda's Master Series. Now, if you've been following along in my book Invincible, this would be on page 305. If you don't have a copy of Invincible and you'd like to purchase one, you can go to my website, www.darylconant.com, and you can either get a PDF version or you can actually get the softcover version. But today I'd like to show you the exercises in Volume 8, and here they are. Full Gironda dip. The difference between this type of a dip as opposed to a parallel straight bar dip is that the elbows are flared out. This is very important. A lot of people don't understand that, and they all teach it the wrong way, especially when online. I go online, I see the horrible form of so many people, and they're incorrect, and so that's going to damage your shoulder. But when you do it correctly with the arms flared out, there's really no stress on your shoulder. And I've had guys sort of rip me apart online when I demonstrate these exercises, and they say that my shoulders are going to get blown out and structurally damaged. And I've been doing this exercise for over 30 years and have never, ever had any problems with my shoulders. So Vince knew what he was doing, and this is a great exercise, probably one of the best chest exercises that you can do, and it's just something I love doing and performing. So this is the full Gironda dip. Now, if you remember in Volume 2, you're going to keep your feet down, pointing down to the floor, just underneath your chin. You're going to keep your chin on your chest at all times. We're going to do 2 small bounces at the bottom, and then we're going to exhale and push all the way up. Now, when you come all the way up to the top position, you're going to keep your elbows slightly bent. You're not going to lock out the elbows. So it looks like this. So you're going to stretch. Get the stretch here, 1, 2, and then exhale. Pull the abdominals in, keep the elbows slightly bent, inhale. 1, 2. Inhale. 1, 2. Inhale. 2. Now nice and slow. 1, 2. Keep the abdominals pulled in. Keep the tension on the chest. Inhale. 2. Inhale. 2. Inhale. So the key points here is going to a nice and controlled motion. You don't want to just drop down and then so just rebound up real fast. When I go down, do 2 small bounces and then push up. When you come all the way up, you're pulling your abdominals in, keeping the tension on your chest at all times, and you sort of hold that position at the top 1 to 2 seconds. Slowly come back down and then repeat. So this is one of my favorite chest exercises to perform. It's very demanding. You don't need a ton of weight, but once you get used to it, you're not getting enough stimulation from it, you can wrap a weight around your waist and then do them with added weight. This is a tremendous exercise if it's done correctly. It's not for everybody, so just be aware of that. You have to develop the strength, the connective tissue of the shoulder in order to perform this. That's why volumes 1 and 2 are so important, because they help build you up to this. Guys, this is a great exercise, the Gironda dip. Okay guys, now I want to show you the reverse para dip, and this is going to be on the Larry Scott dip stand. And this one you can actually do if you have just a regular dip stand that's parallel. So you can get away with it on that one just because of the way you're working the angle of the triceps is fine. Whereas when doing the Gironda dip, those parallel bars are sometimes too narrow, and that can cause problems on your shoulders. So, but for the triceps, it's a great exercise, and you can get away with it on most parallel dip bars. So this is how you would do it. So when we do the Gironda dip, you were facing this way, And then we're going into the dip. The reverse dip is you're going to face the opposite direction, and we're going to go into a sort of the reverse position, whereas when we do the Girona dip, our toes are pointed down in front of us into a crescent position with our chin down on our chest. We're going to still do the same thing with the chin on the chest, but the feet are going to go back, so we're going to do almost like a reverse crescent position on the back. So it looks like this. So you're going to press yourself up, and then you're going to bring your feet underneath you and behind, pointing your toes down, just the opposite of the Girona dip. But now we're going to go in this position. We're going to go down as low as you can so that the elbows and the humerus is parallel to the floor, and then you're going to go ahead and push yourself straight up into a full extension. And you look up to the ceiling. You come back down. You can look down here, chin on chest, and then as you go up, bring your chin off your chest and look up toward the ceiling. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now the key points here are you want to get down, get a full stretch so that your humerus is parallel to the floor. And then you exhale. As you exhale, you push up. And then you want to look up toward the ceiling and really contract the triceps as tight as possible into a full extension. Now the key is getting that full stretch and that full contraction all the way up. And guys, that is the reverse paradip. All right guys, now we're going to do what's called the Scott press. This was actually developed by Larry Scott, and Vince liked it so much that he just incorporated it into his programs. And it's a great exercise, and it's one that Larry developed. He discovered this after he actually injured his shoulder doing very heavy, I believe it was military press style dumbbell presses. And so he immediately went over to the dumbbell rack and picked up a set of dumbbells and started doing this exercise, even though he just injured his shoulder, and he felt like this range of motion was perfect, and so it allowed him to continue working out without causing any further damage. And also he discovered that this exercise is even better than the military press, so he just continued using it from there on out. And this is how you would do it. So there's a lot of variations to this exercise. Some people get confused with this exercise compared to the Arnold press, and they're both two different exercises. But the Scott press I prefer the most because it really focuses more on the entire shoulder girdle and the entire spectrum of the deltoid. And this is how you do it. So you bring the dumbbells up, and you can, on this particular exercise, you can actually use heavy, pretty good weight. For demonstration purposes, I'm just using 10 pounds, but anyways. So you're gonna start with your elbows in front, and your pinkies are gonna be just a little bit higher than your thumbs, not the opposite. You wanna be just a little bit higher, so that way you're gonna be able to have the freedom to kind of get this range of motion, this flaring action on the shoulder, and it helps with the scapulas get back as well. So what we're gonna do is you're gonna exhale, and then it's a pressing motion, but you're only working 3/5 of the movement. So what that means is that, so you'd have your basic pressing motion where you come up like this, and that's no good because when you get to a certain point, it just causes too much problems on the supraspinatus, and that can cause impingement on the rotator cuff and cause problems. So we want to avoid that, but what this does, it allows you to kind of get the full aspect of the contraction of the deltoid without going any further to cause impingement. And so what you do is you work that 3/5 movement. What that means is you're just going 3/5, so you're sweeping your elbows out to the side here, and so you're kind of protracting your scapulas here, and then you're going to retract, just like this. So you're kind of snapping your elbows back, And so what I'm doing is I'm flaring back, snapping the elbow back, and then just a small little lift at the end. And so if I were to do this with my shirt off and look in the mirror, you'd actually see the posterior deltoid pop out every time I pressed up a little bit. So you're going to sweep back and then just kind of snap that posterior deltoid, and it just and I'm also kind of bringing my head forward. So as my elbow is going back, I'm bringing my head forward a little bit to work with the movement, and they allow freedom of the shoulder to kind of get back a little further. So I'm not keeping my head back and restricting my shoulder joint. I'm actually working with the shoulder, allowing freedom to get past, they get the dumbbell past that joint and to get up a little bit higher to activate the posterior deltoid. Now this is a great one to do. Your shoulders will be absolutely pumped up if you do this correctly, because it doesn't take much. Like, I'm only using 10 pounds and my shoulders are already smoked just from demonstrating. But so you're going down, and then you're kind of coming up into this flaring action here. So it's 3/5 movement. Just like that. And on deltoid work, you can always go a little faster than you would other exercises, because the range of motion is so short. Whereas, like, if you're doing a bicep curl, you're coming all the way up. You can hold that contraction, you come down really slow, working the negative. On the deltoids, it's very difficult to really hold that negative coming down through this exercise. So we don't want to do that. We want to keep it fast. You want to get those fast twitch fibers to really engage, and so that really brings the muscle out in prominence and really shows the definition, incredible definition to the deltoids when you do this at a faster pace. See, if you go really slow, it doesn't work as well, but when you kind of snap those arms back, it's incredible. And again, this exercise does not cause impingement because I'm really not doing much in terms of bringing the arm all the way up into its full extension. And that's when you can kind of crush your supraspinatus and cause all kinds of rotator cuff issues. But this is kind of, we're sweeping back and then up a little bit. And it's an incredible exercise. I can see why Vince liked it so much. And I can see why Larry loved it so much, because his shoulders were phenomenal, and this was what contributed to his development. Guys, that is the famous Scott press. Now, guys, I want to show you the back exercise that is in volume 8. This is actually a 2-part process. This is a lat pull down combined with the concave pull down. The lat pull down, the first exercise, is for the lats, obviously. And then the second exercise is you're changing the angle of your back position to work the teres major muscle group. So it's 2 different pull downs working 2 different aspects of the back. So what you want to do, you want to get a flat bench. You can be underneath a regular lat pull down bar, and you want to be 24 inches back from the bar. So the first exercise you want to do is the lat pull down. And so you want to lean into it here. So you're going to lean toward the bar. And then you're going to pull down. And as you're pulling, when you get just about to the height of your head, that's when you're going to pull back and then bring the chest up and then bring the bar down to the low pectoral line. And then you'd come back up. So let me show you that movement again. So it's going to be here, and as you're going to lean forward, and you're going to pull down, and just before you get to your head, you're going to go ahead and look up, and then bring your chest up, and then bring the bar to the low pectoral line. And as you bring the bar back up, you're going to bring your head down and move forward. That's part 1. That's for your lats. Now this would be the concave pull down. As you pull down, keep your chin on your chest,
And then you're going to lean back. And you're going to lean back here. And then bring the bar to your low pectoral line. And inhale. Come back to that regular position so you're kind of leaning forward. And then as you pull down, you're going to exhale. Come to the low pectoral line. And then you sort of scoop back up. So the first one, lat pull down, you're leaning forward. You're going to pull down just about till they get to the top of the head. And then you look up and you bring the bar to the low pectoral line. Elbows down to the side. Inhale. Now for the concave pull down, you're going to exhale. Come right to the low pectoral line, and then pull, let it come back up nice and easy. Back to the lat pull down. Exhale, get all the air out. Chin is up, chest is up. And then as you bring the bar back up, bring the chin back down to the chest. And then you're going to transfer into the concave pull down. So I'm leaning back and then pulling right to the low pectoral line. Then slowly come up. Lean forward. Lat pull down. Low pectoral line. Inhale. Exhale. You're concave in the chest. You're looking down toward your bench. Keep the bar down to the low pectoral line. Inhale. So your shoulders are forward. Up. Lat pull down. Low pectoral line. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. So there's two aspects to this particular exercise. The first one is the lat pull down. So you're leaning forward, pulling down just about to the point where it's going to hit your head, and then that's when you look up to the ceiling and you drop your elbows down to the side of your body. Chest is up. You get a strong contraction. You want those scapulars to really crank on the contraction. So you want to get elbows down. You'll feel a deep contraction into the middle of the scapulars. And then you come up nice and easy, get back into position, bring your chin down on your chest. Still leaning forward, and then you exhale, keep your chin on your chest. You lean back, so now your shoulders will be in the forward position, and you're concaving. And you exhale, come to the low pectoral line, and then scoop and come back up. So it's one of those exercises that you got to practice, but it really hits the lats and the teres major muscle group. And it really brings out that V taper. So it's going to hit the teres major muscle group. You'll get a little bit of the minor as well, but it's going to pop that out so that you create this nice separation between your posterior delt and your lats, and you'll get that really thick look to your back, and it really brings out the width of that back. And so it's just a great exercise, and it's something that you don't see a lot of. I've never seen anyone ever do the concave pull down in any gym I've ever worked out in. I think I was the only one that was ever doing them. And a lot of people looked at me weird, but I could really care less because it really worked. And again, if you know kinesiology, you know how the muscles work, then you know that this exercise is really going to isolate and hit that aspect of the back that you're not going to get really with anything else. So it's just, I could care less how stupid it looks or whatever. It just really works, and it's one of those exercises that once you start to get used to it, it will become one of your favorite exercises. And guys, that is the sort of the back combination exercise routine that's in volume 8. And so you do your lat pull down, and you go right into the concave pull down, back to back. And so you do your reps and sets with that, and after you're done, you feel phenomenal. Just from demonstrating those little few reps that I did, you can really feel that area just pump up, and it's just phenomenal. It's just a great feeling. I love doing this stuff because, it's like instant feedback when you do these exercises, especially this one, because you get that instant feedback. You can really feel the incredible pump to the back. And so this is a great one. And guys, that is the combination pull down in volume 8. Now guys, I want to show you the 90-degree bent over dumbbell posterior raise. Now what you want to do, start with the dumbbells on the floor, and we're going to bend over, grab the dumbbells, you want to arch the back, then we're going to raise the dumbbells up, and as you raise up, you want to turn the pinkies a little bit higher than the thumbs. And exhale, inhale. So you exhale as you go up. Turn the pinkies up as you come up. So the key points here, so you want to obviously stay bent over, arch the back, and as you raise up, turn the pinkies just a little bit higher than the thumb. That really isolates the posterior deltoids much greater than trying to bring your thumbs up higher than your pinkies. So when your thumbs are higher than your pinky, it's going to put the stress more on the lateral aspect of the deltoid, not the posterior deltoid. So by turning the pinkies up just a little bit higher, you can really isolate because it turns the humerus. So as the humerus is sort of turning in that position, so as you see, when your pinky goes up, that rotates your humerus. So when you do an exercise, you're going to rotate the humerus, and it's going to put the displacement more on the posterior deltoid. So it's the same thing as when we do the seated lateral raise. You raise up, you turn your pinkies. Because we're turning the pinkies, again, we're rotating the humerus to isolate a particular part of the deltoid. And so that's the same thing when we do the posterior raise as well. You're going up and you're turning. I see so many guys just grab them and they just kind of flare them out to the side here, and their thumbs go higher than their pinky. And it's totally changing the exercise. So you want to keep that pinky turned up as you're going up. And guys, that is the 90-degree bent over dumbbell posterior raise. Now guys, I'd like to show you the alternating incline dumbbell curl. And grab the dumbbells. Now you want the bench to be set at 45 degrees. That's the optimal angle. And then you can keep your feet together like this, but I prefer to keep my legs crossed. This is the way Vince does it. This is the way he taught me how to do it. So, I don't know, it looks better. It looks pretty cool. It looks more casual. So I like it doing like this, but if you feel weird doing it in the gym, you don't want to do that. You keep your legs together like this. But anyways, I like to keep my legs crossed the way Vince did, and it works for me. So the reason why you cross your legs is so you can keep the dumbbells from hitting your legs as you go up. But anyways, you choose whatever position you want. So you're going to round out the shoulders, keep your chin in your chest. The dumbbells will be facing each other underneath the bench. And then as you curl up, you're going to slowly turn the dumbbell to the armpit. You're going to lean over to that side as the dumbbell's coming up and watching the dumbbell as it comes up. So it looks like this. And then as this one's going down, this one's coming up. And then after you do 6 of those, you're going to put your head back, and then you're going to stretch the biceps, and then curl both at the same time.
So the key points of the exercise are you want to keep your shoulders rounded, chin on your chest. Dumbbells face each other, and as you curl up, you're going to slowly turn and then touch the bell to the armpit. And then as this hand's going down, the other hand's going to come up. And you keep tension at all times. So it makes it much harder to do it like this than to do it just like the regular sort of alternating like this. So both hands are down at the same time and then they come up. So as you're concentrating on this type of motion, it's much more engaging. It's a lot harder because you're really keeping the nervous system lit up the entire time. And then it's important also as you're coming up to look at the dumbbell and to lean into it. You want to lean to that side. Again, I've seen guys and they're throwing their elbows out and they're just getting a little bit more deltoid into it. So by leaning into it, it's going to keep the elbows back, keeps the deltoids out of the picture, and then it just really isolates the bicep. So it's a great exercise. And then when you're done with your 6 on this particular program, when you're done with your 6, then you're going to lie back. We go into 6 at the same time. And you want to lie back, get the stretch here, because you can really feel the stretch on the biceps. And then as you come up, you lean into it, you contract, and you come back down. And so you do 6 to finish out all 12 reps. So guys, it's a great exercise, and it's one of those that it's a guaranteed blast to the bicep. That's the alternating incline dumbbell curl. Now guys, I'd like to show you the Zottman curl. Now there's been a lot of controversy about this one. I've never really seen anyone online do it correctly. And it's there's all different types of versions of this that are out there, and I'm going to show you the correct way. This is the way I learned from Vince. So this is a great forearm exercise. It's really going to burn them up pretty good, especially if you do it correctly. So the key to this is it's really the rhythm and the form of it all. So what you do is you're going to put your elbow close to your body, so it's kind of jammed into the side, and that's going to allow a little bit of leverage so that you can get into the movement and really start to work on the forearm, especially the brachioradialis. So what you do is you want to kind of get into this sort of rhythmic pattern, so the elbows are jammed into the side of your body, and you're coming up, and then you're going over, and come up, and you're going over. It's like kind of like a figure 8 pattern here, and then you're coming up, so you're pulling up here, and so your elbow's close to the side of your body. You're going to sort of sweep your hips. So it's like you're kind of getting your hips kind of into it. It's like a little bit of a dance, I guess. So you come up, and you're going to, so you see my hip and the dumbbell kind of come up at the same time. See that? And then you're going to come up. Then you transfer over to the other arm. And you're turning them in. And so the key points to this is it's really getting that rhythm. You know, I've seen so many different versions of this, variations or whatever, and it's just, you know, the idea is you want to kind of get into that rhythm. It's almost like a dance, I guess, you know. But once you kind of get into it, you really start to find the resistance points on the forearms as you're getting into it, and you're curling up. So you come up, elbow to the side, and then you turn the dumbbell down. Up, turn it down. And you're keeping the dumbbells in front of you, and you're just working that rhythm. You're going up and down, and it's all synchronized. So the hands are working together, but as one's going up, one's going down. So you come up, you flip the hand. So if the thumbs come up and then they go back down. Thumb up, down. And you just kind of get into that rhythm. You don't want to be like a karate guy. Ooh. You want to get into that more of a rhythm. It's like a little bit of a dance and get that leverage and really crank on those forearms as you're getting into it. So it's one of those exercises, takes a little practice, always go light. You know, use 5 pounds to get the movement down and then start cranking up the weight. This is a really good one, and you're gonna get an immediate effect on this. As soon as you're done with it, your forearms will be all big, pumped up. So it's a great exercise. Really gets that brachioradialis really nice, so it gets that nice sharp look to it. Guys, that is the Zottman curl. Now guys, I want to show you the famous sissy squat. Now this is an awesome exercise. It's one that's guaranteed to burn the legs and just really increase the frontal sweep of the quadriceps. And it creates that illusion that you have huge legs, smaller tapered waist, and when you have a good V taper, it really brings out the symmetry and really finishes off the physique. And the idea of this exercise is that we want to engage the quadriceps and we want to keep the glutes out of it. And so Vince came up with this exercise that's really, really effective for really blasting the quadriceps into a whole new growth pattern. And so I'm going to do my best to demonstrate. Unfortunately, a couple years ago, and you've heard me talk about it in other videos, that I can't do a lot with my leg anymore since I had a really bad ski accident, and my range of motion and my leg is not the same, and I'm still rehabbing it it's been 2 years. And I'm doing the best I can in terms of demonstrating the videos with my legs, because this one was one of my favorite exercises, and I could get down really, really low, and I love doing this exercise, but it's just not the same anymore, and so I'm still working on it, and I'm hoping that someday I'll get back to getting really low again, but when you see me demonstrate, you'll see that I'm not going to be able to get down as low as I would like, and so, but you get the idea, and hopefully from my demonstration, you'll be able to understand it and incorporate it into your program as well. So the first thing you want to do is you want to get a 2x4. You can actually use, if you don't have a 2x4, you can use a weighted plates like the 25-pound plates. Just put those down, and those will work just as well. Then you're going to clean the bar off the ground. And I always recommend using lightweight when you do this one to begin with, because if you're used to doing regular Olympic back squats and you try to do this exercise, you're not going to be able to do it with the same weight. So you want to be able to incorporate a lighter weight just until you get used to the movement. Now, with the sissy squat, there's actually 3 positions. There's one called the first part is the knee drop. The second part is called the burlesque bump. And then the third part is the flushing. And so you would normally do 7 reps in each part, but you can always work your way up to it. You can start maybe doing 3 in each part, and then go to 4 to 5, and then work your way up to 7 as you get stronger and more coordinated with the exercise. So the first part is the knee drop, and what you want to do is almost like if you have like an imaginary spot on the floor that you're going to point your knees toward. That's where you want to go to. And so it looks like this. So that's about the farthest I can go. Again, I do apologize. I wish I used to be able to get like 3 inches off the ground. It's frustrating. But anyways, that's the idea. So the key is keeping your hips tucked in, and then you're going into that sort of that sissy squat position where you're going down into this knee drop, and then you come right up. You really feel the tension down toward the lower part of the leg, quadriceps, especially toward the VMO. Now the second part is the burlesque bump. So you would go down into a squat, and then you thrust your hips so you thrust your hips forward in a very sort of aggressive fashion because you want to go quick so you can activate the fast twitch fibers, but also you want to get your hips in front of you so that you're not activating the glutes, but you're activating the quadriceps. So when you're down there, it's here, and then you come up. So that's the second part. So you do the first part 3 to 7 times, the second part 3 to 7 times, and then you finish it off with the flushing. So that's the combination of the two. So you go into the knee drop, down into the burlesque bump, and then you stand back up. So it looks like this. And right back up. So again, I do apologize. Oh man, that's the best I can do. But right now, I'm gonna get better. I'm working on it. The leg is definitely getting stronger, but you get the idea. So the key points are, there's 3 parts. The knee drop, burlesque bump, and flushing. Knee drop, going down, and when you're doing that knee drop, I mean, you can get down, your glutes aren't working here, quadriceps, so you're tucking your hips, getting your hips in front of you. And so they're out here, and you go down until you get a tremendous stretch, and you lean a little bit back, and you can almost feel the stretch of the quadricep from the top of the knee all the way to the hip. It's this unbelievable sort of tension on the rectus femoris. Really gets hit hard on this one, and it's great. So it really brings out that sweep. So here, and you go down to that knee drop, and then you come up. Then the burlesque bump, you go down, and it's the same thing. You go down here, and then as we're thrusting, you're thrusting your hips forward. Again, it's just keeping all the tension on the quadriceps. So it's a very aggressive sort of move, and it really hits the quadriceps like no other exercise. Like when you do a regular back squat, kind of feel like this, and you go down, and you get down here, and then come up. The thing about that exercise, I mean, it works great for some people. I know some guys that's all they do, and their legs look phenomenal. But they also sometimes tend to develop a bigger hip area, a thicker waist area. And so, you know, that is not as desirable as the way Vince wanted the physique, where bigger legs, smaller butt, tapered midsection. You know, the abdominals nice and tight, nice and small, so it creates that illusion that you have bigger legs. And so when you do it this way, it's all quadricep dominant, you know. When you do the back squat doesn't use the quadriceps the entire time. So you're using hamstrings and glutes and other muscles to kind of help facilitate the entire movement. Whereas this, it's basically just strictly all quadriceps. And then just using that bar, this bar is 35 pounds. You know, if you did 7 reps in each position, that's 21 reps with this bar, and you do 8 sets of this, your legs would be, you probably won't be able to do it. I've seen guys who can squat 500 to 600 pounds on the back do this sissy squat with, this is 35 pounds, with just the 45-pound bar. And they can't even do 8 sets of the 21 reps. And it's just, at first, I mean, over time they would probably be able to do it, but since they're so used to doing the other squat style and utilizing all the other muscles to help facilitate lifting all that weight, when they become just quad dominant on just that particular exercise with the sissy squat, I mean, it's just too much. It's like, it's intense. And so that's why this particular exercise, you want to start out with a light weight and then build yourself up. but it's a great exercise. It's one that I love to do. It's been a part of the process of rebuilding my knee and my leg. And again, I wish I could get down a little bit further to really show you guys, but that's the best I can do. I hope that you understand how it works. But the key is really getting your hips forward and getting that quadriceps to really activate. It's just a great exercise. And guys, that is Vince's famous sissy squat. Okay, now guys, I want to show you the donkey calf raise. Now there's different variations to this exercise. It's all pretty much the same. They have machines that you can use in some gyms, but if you don't have a machine, there's different configurations to this. All you need is a calf block. You need maybe a weighted belt so that you can attach a weight to it. Now you might have seen some pictures of Arnold Schwarzenegger back in the day, and he would do the donkey calf raise with I believe it was Frank Zane, Dave Draper, and Franco Columbu would all sit on his back, and he would do this exercise. So you can use a tremendous amount of weight for this exercise, and if you do have somebody daring enough who wants to get on your back in the middle of a full gym and do this exercise, I mean, it looks kind of strange, but yeah, go for it, you know. But otherwise, you can use a configuration like this where you can load a lot of weight onto this belt. So that's how it works. But for me, I'm just using just enough to kind of demonstrate. You want to use a calf block about 4 inches high, and then you're gonna always do your calf work barefoot. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna bend over 90 degrees, and then you stretch the calves, and then you're gonna raise all the way up on your toes, and you pull your heels in toward each other. You go back down, inhale, then you exhale, inhale, stretch, then exhale, inhale, exhale, go all the way up onto the big toe and bring your heels in, and then come back down, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, stretch, exhale, come all the way up. Now the key points here are real simple. You want to be able to keep your body in a 90-degree position bent over. You want to get a good stretch onto your calves, and then as you raise up, you want to come all the way up onto the big toes and touch your heels together and then come back down. When you do it that way, you come all the way up on your big toe and touch your heels together, you can really get a very strong, deep contraction in the calves. Especially, so you're working the gastrocnemius muscle, which kind of creates that diamond look to the calf. So this is how you get diamond calves. And guys, that is the donkey calf raise. So there you have it, guys. Those are the exercises in Vince Geronda's Master Series Volume 8. Now, if you have any questions or would like to learn more about my books and programs, you can check me out on my website at www.darylkennard.com. I want to thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.